Rockefeller knows what it's like to be abandoned.
Never trust anybody, son. Not even me.
And he's not going to let this case tear his family apart. He turns himself in, agreeing to testify in court in defense of Standard Oil and in defense of an entire way of business he helped create. America has emerged onto the world stage, rebuilt over the past 5 decades by John Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, and J.P. Morgan. They've reigned uncontested for years. Only now, the government is cracking down on big business in a big way. The case will be the biggest challenge of Rockefeller's life. A fight that will determine the future of the country, as Rockefeller is forced to defend a company he built from nothing into one of the most powerful corporations on Earth.
Buy now. Everything. Buy the whole company.
Chúng tôi không ngừng nâng cao chất lượng sản phẩm và dịch vụ để mang đến những trải nghiệm giải trí đỉnh cao. Ra mắt website
The United States versus Standard Oil. This hearing is now in session. Please state your name.
John Rockefeller.
Mr. Rockefeller, can you tell the court how in just 1 year in 1872 you acquired all the refineries in Cleveland?
I don't remember. It was 36 years ago.
You used intimidation to wipe out the competition, did you not? I mean, so ruthlessly that it became known as the Cleveland Massacre?
I don't remember any massacre.
Are you aware of payments made by Standard Oil to a senator, $15,000 to block a bill hostile to Standard Oil?
I don't remember.
We have a list of bribes made by Standard Oil to politicians between 1903...
I stepped down as chief executive of Standard Oil in 1902. I can't answer for any incidents that occurred after that date.
You are still president of Standard Oil, are you not?
It's an honorary title, much like that of President of the United States.
Can I remind you, Mr. Rockefeller, of the seriousness of the charges brought against you?
As John Rockefeller fights to keep his monopoly intact, a new generation of businessmen is facing a new set of challenges as they struggle to get their companies off the ground.
I have set out to build the best motor car for popular use. The Ford motor car is durable and light, weighing only 1,000 pounds. It has a 4-cylinder engine and is capable of speeds up to 45 miles an hour. It is priced at $900 compared to $1,500 for the average licensed car, which makes it the first car affordable for the common man.
Young entrepreneur Henry Ford has created a new kind of car, but in order to sell it, he needs to get permission from the Association of Licensed Automobile Manufacturers, also known as ALLAM. ALLAM owns the patent on the automobile, giving them complete control over who can manufacture and sell cars. They are, in a sense, a giant car monopoly. And Ford's future now rests in their hands.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. We'll be in touch.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Ford is hopeful he'll be approved by ALLAM, allowing him to start his own business and to pursue his dream for the future of the car industry.
When Ford entered the automobile business, people didn't drive their own cars. They had drivers. And so cars were seen as this luxury item. Ford's insight was that cars could be an everyday item. They could be very utilitarian. So that it was within the reach of ordinary people.
Ford has spent years developing his car for the common man. He builds his first model at the age of 33 and calls it the quadricycle. But the vehicle is expensive to produce and prone to breaking down. Ford's second attempt, the Model A, is much more suited to the needs of modern America. But he can't begin selling it without permission from ALLAM.
ALLAM was successful in blackmailing other automobile companies, saying, you have to be licensed by us or we will sue you, and we own this patent.
After months of deliberation, the ALLAM board reaches its decision. Henry Ford's application is rejected. It's a crushing blow. The auto cartel has stopped him in his tracks. But Henry Ford is determined to show the world that to succeed in America, all you need is integrity and ingenuity. The next generation of businessmen is on the rise. Henry Ford is battling a powerful cartel for the right to make a car he believes in. The Association of Licensed Automobile Manufacturers owns the patent on the automobile. And budding car makers like Henry Ford need its permission to sell cars. After being rejected by ALLAM, Ford is left with few options. But he isn't about to give up on his dreams.
Ford thought that the whole thing was ridiculous, that there could not be a patent on the idea of the automobile, that the automobile was not the property of one single individual.
Ford is determined to get around ALLAM's stranglehold on the auto industry. But he's just one man, going up against a virtual monopoly. If he's going to be a success without ALLAM, he's going to need to make a name for himself.
It's a very simple thing on the make or break decisions, the gut. And that's what separates the great leaders and the great successes. And if you can't listen to it and you don't have it, you're never going to get it, because it's never going to come from someplace else.
Henry Ford challenges the owner of the biggest car company in the country to a race. Alexander Winton is also known as the fastest driver in America and a prominent member of Alum. Beating Winton with a car of his own design has the potential to give Ford the boost he needs to start his own company. There's just one problem. Henry Ford has never raced a car before.
It's a David and Goliath scene. Winton's famous world record holder has this fancy race car. Ford, the local boy, made good.
Henry Ford's upset win over the fastest man in America makes him instantly famous.
Ford's a hero, and this is really the first big time, I think, that he becomes a celebrity. The Ford name gets out there, and he milks it for everything that it's worth. And it was a very crucial part of Ford getting investors for the Ford Motor Company.
Ford raises $28,000, or $700,000 today, enough money to build his first factory in Highland Park, Michigan. And before long, he's producing 15 cars a day, priced low enough for almost any American.
When it finally does break through, it is sort of gratifying, because you're starting to see the reality of what you always believed, that the vision you had that someday the world would be different is starting to move in that direction.
Henry Ford's early success puts him on the map. But Alum takes notice and hits him with a lawsuit, claiming he's breaching their patent on the automobile.
You see all these huge conglomerations suing people over patents. The big guys are taking advantage of the little guys, trying to find whatever angle they could and using their might, and those with the best tricksters win.
While Henry Ford prepares to bring his fight for the little guy to a Detroit court, the trial to bring down Standard Oil is starting to get ugly.
Mr. Rockefeller, we have evidence that you placed several refineries out of business.
Not to my knowledge.
Do you accept that Standard Oil has enjoyed a profitability higher than most industries?
Our profitability is no higher than that of U.S. Steel. I haven't heard of anyone attempting to break up U.S. Steel.
While Rockefeller is fighting to save his company, J.P. Morgan has been able to keep his steel monopoly off the government's hit list. he's used his power and influence to broker a number of deals for the nation, applying the might of U.S. steel to strengthen the country's infrastructure. But Morgan's biggest deal is just getting started in Central America. For years, attempts have been made to build a canal linking